China isn't just launching a digital currency. It is quietly operating a $1.2 trillion financial framework that could fundamentally reshape how money moves across borders, silently but systematically. While most of the world still relies on traditional financial systems, Beijing seems to have cut the cord and moved onto a new financial path. So what exactly is this new system? China has activated a global digital payment infrastructure, essentially a working prototype of the post-dollar financial era. This system has already settled transactions across 200 countries and regions, completely outside the SWIFT network. According to the People's Bank of China, the Digital Yuan, or ECNY, has processed over 1.8 trillion yen, around $250 billion, in pilot transactions by Q1 2025. But this isn't just about transaction volume. It's about monetary sovereignty. By embedding ECNY into global trade, supply chains, and central bank networks, China is reshaping the world order from within. As Martin Korzempa from the Peterson Institute said, this is the first state-controlled financial infrastructure to directly challenge SWIFT and IBAN dominance. If 1944 was the rise of the dollar via Bretton Woods, 2025 might be the quiet dawn of Beijing's financial era, not through weapons, but through code, digital rails, and bilateral settlements. Since 2015, China has signed over 40 bilateral currency swap agreements worth $580 billion, creating a decentralized financial network that enables cross-border trade in yuan without touching the dollar. By the end of 2024, 30 to 80% of China's foreign trade occurred outside of the SWIFT system. China's cross-border interbank payment system, CIPS, now connects to over 400 financial institutions in 110 countries. Saudi oil can now be paid in yuan, confirmed in seconds. No U.S. banks involved. While SWIFT still processes 40 million messages a day, its grip on emerging markets is fading. According to former IMF official Ishwar Prasad, China's parallel financial network is one of the most underreported revolutions in global finance. Countries like Kenya have bought oil from the UAE using digital yuan, bypassing the dollar. Argentina repaid part of its IMF loan in ECNY when its dollar reserves ran low. By February 2025, the yuan share in global payments surged to 6%, up from 1.9% 2 years ago. The shift is strategic. Nations aren't abandoning the dollar. They're insuring against it. ECNY's programmable nature and independence from correspondent banks make it attractive for countries seeking financial autonomy. But does this truly decentralize the system, or simply shift control from the West to Beijing? Cross-border ECNY tests between Hong Kong and the UAE in late 2023 showed trade settlements completed in seconds, slashing costs by up to 90%, according to the Bank for International Settlements. SWIFT takes 1 to 3 business days and can cost $50 per transaction. China is not just building a faster train, it's removing the ticket counter altogether. The backbone? A unified real-time platform now handling $80 billion in daily transactions. But who controls the switch? How transparent is it? These questions are now on global regulators' radars. ASEAN became China's top trade partner in 2024, surpassing the EU, with over $970 billion in two-way trade. More than one-third of this trade is now conducted in non-dollar currencies, with ECNY spreading fast across Southeast Asia. In Indonesia, SMEs are using QR-based ECNY wallets to avoid dollar conversion costs. In Malaysia, central banks are integrating real-time systems with China. This isn't just exporting goods, it's exporting financial norms. As Alicia Garcia Herrero warns, when trade, tariffs, and settlement are routed through Beijing-controlled platforms, technical sovereignty begins to erode. China's financial ties are no longer transactional. They are structural. After Russia was cut from SWIFT in 2022, CIPS transaction volumes jumped 90% by early 2025. ECNY adoption is rising in nations struggling to access dollars. China is even integrating ECNY into smart contracts for infrastructure loans under its Belt and Road Initiative. Digital payments are being tested in at least 13 BRI nations. China's advantage isn't just being a lender. It's having control over how that money is tracked and spent. In 2025, BRICS central banks began cross-border CBDC trials, using non-dollar settlements. RMB use in Global South trade is now outpacing the euro in several sectors. This isn't de-dollarization through conflict, it's fragmentation through innovation. With the US imposing 60% tariffs on all Chinese imports under President Trump in January 2025, Beijing's response wasn't retaliation, it was acceleration. China ramped up ECNY and export financing. Trade credit in ECNY now has lower interest than dollar-based loans. Bank of China offers yuan-denominated letters of credit 40 basis points cheaper than dollar ones. Tariffs may slow exports, but they're speeding up the creation of China's financial firewall. If tariffs fail to halt exports, but push growth of an alternative system, what power does the US still hold? This is no longer just a trade war. It's a race to build the neural system of the future financial world. The dollar isn't gone, but its gatekeeping role is being rewritten. While the West debates tariffs, China is embedding digital rails in infrastructure deals, trade pacts, and wallets. This is about more than payments. It's about algorithms, oversight, and programmable power. The new system only works when the code allows and the issuer agrees. So, when the next global crisis comes, and liquidity is needed, not from Washington, but from Shanghai, the world might not have a choice but to accept Beijing's terms. Because China isn't just preparing for the next financial war. It's building the architecture to win it, before the first shot is fired.